welcome everybody to Regions Field, where we are back for the Michigan Women's Hockey Coaches Show. Just wrapped up the banquets. All the players are leaving out the door, and we are so grateful for all of them and all their hard work this entire season. It has been fantastic to come along on this ride, so we are very grateful about that. As Coach Tribbiano is finishing up some things, and she should be over here in just a few seconds. We're excited to be back at Regions Field, as they were closed for just a little bit dealing with the construction next door. We are back. March Madness is going on the TVs across the way, so it is a wonderful time. Just wrapped up the banquet, so we'll have some wonderful things to talk about with that, as we do have some awards that were given out during the banquet. We're also going to get into talking about looking back at the ACHA National Tournament, and we're going to look back at the season as a whole and talk about all the things, get a little bit of that, as they're just cleaning things up, getting ready to go here. We do want to mention a couple of the awards that happened at the banquet. Rookie of the Year is Sam Carr, very well deserved, and we appreciate that. Ava Hung is the Most Improved Player. She got that. That was fantastic. The Unsung Hero is a combination of two players, Megan Matthews and Manami Gordon. Both got that one. Defensive Player of the Year. It's a three-time champion there, as we have a wonderful award sit there. That's Offensive Player of the Year right up there. And that Defensive Player of the Year, three-time award winner, Katie German. And then Offensive Player of the Year was Lucy Hansen. So she did a fantastic job. And, of course, the MVP, very well-deserved, is Sandrine Ponith. That's her, I believe, third time. So she does an excellent, wonderful job with that, and we are very, very grateful for all of her hard work. It was great to have Johns with us as well this season, to have two goalkeepers who were amazing. We're going to look back. So Michigan did play in the ACHA National Tournament. That was back last week. They arrived on Monday the 11th, so they got there a couple days before things, and the team is just taking care of things, cleaning things up, and helping out, cleaning up the banquet, so Regions Field can have all the March Madness fans come in. Also at 2 o'clock, I believe, is the Michigan women's basketball tournament game. So definitely we should have some fans in here watching that and having a lot of fun with that. So we are just getting things cleaned up here and taking a look back at that. So I want to talk a little bit briefly about how deep the national tournament has gotten. It was a lot of tight games. There were 13 games in the tournament. Out of 13 games, 7 of them were single goal games. So over half of them were single goal games. And then 5 of them went to overtime, including 4 of them with Minot. All of Minot's games except for the last one went to overtime, which I don't know how their coaching staff could deal with that. That's a lot of gray hair for me. And then the 6 games that they did have more than a single score differential, of that, 4 of them were from Adrian, the eventual champion. So Adrian was the only team that did not have a single goal game. They were able to win all of them by multiple goals. And first time Adrian has actually won the national championship in women's Division 1. So that's something that they've been really, really good in the CCWHA for a long time. And they were able to actually come in and win the national championship. Liberty was bumped off by Minot in double overtime, which was absolutely crazy game to watch. But we'll talk a little bit about Michigan versus Minot in just one moment, as Coach is just getting things taken care of from the bank. It was a wonderful time to get to see the players again, have a fantastic meal here at Regions Field, who always does such a wonderful good thing. Their salads are fantastic. I know Coach Tribbiano and Ned always love to get the salads, and Coach Upton as well. My wife loves them. They had a great grilled chicken sandwich here. So if you're looking at watching any of the March Madness games, come on down to Regions Field. If you're going to watch the D1 the D1 NCAA Women's National Championship for hockey tomorrow. I believe that's 4 o'clock. As Ohio State is in the national championship game, and Michigan doesn't even have a varsity team to compete with that. So that's something that I think every Michigan fan should want that to change and actually compete with Ohio State for that national champion. As again, we have 6 players from Michigan that were in the Frozen Four, second of any state. Minnesota actually had 9, but Michigan had 6. Now, the provinces, Canadian provinces, had more, but that's the second most, and every single one of those players had to go out of state to go and play D1. So that's certainly not something ideal. And with 7 D1 men's teams, hopefully we can get D1 women's team here. Love to see it at Michigan, but any of the teams, it would be great. So taking a look there, again, last week Michigan did play versus Minot, so they got there on the 11th. That was 2 days before their game versus Minot. They got to they had 2 weeks between their games playing, so the last time they played was February 24th. That was 2 weeks before the national championship game. That was the CCWHA games versus Indiana Tech. And so they had a little bit of time between those games. And then so they came out. They actually got to practice in that outdoor rink. If you watched our games when we went out and visited and played versus Lindenwood, the first game was in that outdoor rink out at the Centene Community Ice Center. And that's where the teams got to practice, is they will practice out there. Now, a little bit different as when they were last out there, of course, the weather was not quite what it could have been. It was a little chilly. Coach Ned and I were freezing in the stands on that outdoor game. And it's a little different as it was about 70 degrees out there. Sure, if Coach Ned wants to hop on for a moment before Coach Trebbiano comes in, and
I can fake it and fill in for a minute, Mark.
Absolutely.
Say thanks to all our fans.
Absolutely, as we appreciate. What was it like to have him come out there? And by the way, that's the Offensive Player of the Year trophy, which is fantastic. We appreciate that.
That's a tradition that was established at Huron, and this team didn't have that. So I felt that people, the 6 trophies, should be honored for their contribution as voted by their teammates. So it's
Absolutely.
I think it's something they look forward to now.
Definitely. And we talked a little bit, I kind of mentioned it was, again, Rookie of the Year with Sam Carr. Most Improved was Ava Hung. Unsung Hero, Megan Matthews and Manami Gordon. Defensive Player of the Year, Katie German. Offensive Player is Lucy Hansen. And MVP is Sandrine Pontiff. Anything you want to say about those players?
Nothing like putting me on the spot. They're all very deserving. I do want to mention that there's 2 three-peats there.
Yep.
Our MVP, Sandy, that's the 3rd year in a row. That's pretty unheard. And KG on defense, that's the 3rd year in a row for her. So I've been manning these trophies for a long time, and I don't know that that's ever happened before. I have to go back and check, but that's I know we've had 2 in a row, but 3, that's pretty impressive.
That is very impressive,
Yeah.
and we're super lucky to have both of them, Katie German and Sandrine Pontiff, doing an amazing job.
And back next year so they can go for the 4-peat.
Absolutely. If you want to announce the captains, do you?
Yeah, I just wrote that down because I just learned that, and I apologize for not.
No, it's okay.
Captain's going to be KG and Kelsey Swanson.
So Katie German and Swanson are going to be the captains. Co-C is on the jersey.
Yeah, and Julia and Lucy are going to be our alternates.
Perfect. So Lindahl and Hansen are going to be alternates. Love that you guys actually use the alternate as opposed to assistant captain.
Well,
the proper hockey
that's
term.
the old hockey thing. You know, it's a sweater and it's an alternate.
It is, absolutely.
That's what you got to use in college hockey.
Absolutely, I love it.
And the board presidents, which are every bit as important because they run the team. Keegan's going to be our board president, and the board members. Vice president is Julia, and our treasurers for the 2nd year in a row, which is nice because you need the continuity with the money handling, is Mariana and Izzy.
Perfect.
So.
That is fantastic because that's not easy to take care of that. As someone who teaches accountants on on the daily part, putting people to sleep, that's tough to do. So
And it's a huge
grateful for them.
budget. So that's a great thing to put on the resume when they leave. When I do a letter of reference for somebody who's been one of our treasurers, that carries a lot of load when your budget's $150,000.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you have to work with the constraints of our overseer, so and that makes it even harder for what they do. So
Definitely, absolutely.
So I'm sitting here with just filling a spot while Tribs is in the on deck circle, but she doesn't look like she's in a hurry to come over. Yeah.
So we're going to switch it out. We'll bring in the head coach. So thank you very much to Ned Glisson, who's fantastic, and he is the best part about the broadcast, besides seeing the players, is his insight and everything. You all put up with me as Coach Ned's fantastic insight there. And we'll pull in busy morning here for Coach as doing the banquet, and then having this this wonderful coaches show here. And then we need to get out of the way for all the March Madness folks. But how you doing, Coach?
I'm doing pretty well.
Excellent. So talking, kind of looking back a little bit to last week, I know you folks went out 2 days early. You guys got out there Monday. Was that just to kind of get the team back together after not having played 2 weeks and get a little time to kind of get back into game mode?
So Tuesday, we knew we were going to practice, but we did not know what day or I guess what time.
Yeah.
Like it could have been as early as 8 a.m. or it could have been as late as 4 p.m. So we just knew we wanted to get out there.
Yeah.
Everybody could settle in. We had some exams to proctor as well. So just
Nice.
Getting everybody there by Monday night was our goal.
Perfect.
Travel went smooth. I ended up flying because of work. But, it usually works out better that way. So that way if there were any delays, we're not,
Absolutely.
we have consistency in our schedule.
So how crazy was it? Little different weather than when we were last out in St. Louis. How weird was it to practice at 75 degrees in an outdoor rink?
Not ideal. I did not love it. But those were the cards we were dealt, so something we couldn't control. So we tried to make the best out of the situation. We had a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely not ideal hockey weather.
Fair enough. Probably got a little sweaty and all the gear and everything, but that's okay.
I know it was pretty warm, and there were some tornado warnings and all of that fun stuff. And I don't love tornadoes either, so
that makes
that
sense.
was quite interesting.
Absolutely, never fun to. We actually woke up on Wednesday on Thursday, 2 tornado warnings,
We did.
which is fun. But it did mean I got to push back a class and do the play-by-play. So taking a look, Michigan faced off versus Minot State at 4 o'clock on that Wednesday. And Minot State scored first when Cooper took a shot from just inside the blue line that found its way past. There were 5 players in that middle, and it just somehow found its way past and into the net at 6:23 in the first. Ponith was screened. I don't even think she could see that one coming at all. It was just a tough shot, and all of a sudden it's on top of you, and there's not a lot you could do with that. How tough was it on the bench to give up the first goal, or was it just kind of something that, okay, we focused, now we're going to get it back?
It's something that's happened to us, I guess, quite a lot, even second semester. We've been able to respond, so I think when we realized we could play with them, because a lot of those teams in that conference, they are highly ranked, and
very good. Absolutely.
We don't see them super often, and I think we all sometimes think that they're this entity or these teams can't be touched, and then you see them and you're like, wow, we can hang with them. We can score goals. So, although it was a little deflating, I'm really happy with how we responded.
So, speaking of which, Michigan was able to tie the game 9 minutes later when Carr took a backhanded shot from the near circle. The rebound came out to the low slot where Malashevsky was able to put it in and tie the game up. How important was it to get that game-tying goal before going into that intermission?
It's huge. You always want to score the next goal.
Absolutely.
Especially if the other team scores first. It's a lot easier to think about being behind 1-0 than being behind 2-0, especially going into an intermission. So it was really important for us and our morale going into the locker room.
Absolutely. Michigan took the lead at 7:50 in the second on a power play goal for Hansen. Katie German took a shot from just inside the blue line that just went just to the left of the goal. And a live dasher bounced right back over to Lucy Hansen, who was able to sneak it in the near post. Flazar and Gordon were on the assist. What were the emotions there after taking the lead in that game? Was it... Was there a sense of relief? Was it excitement? How were things going once you knew that you not only could hang with this team, but you actually took a lead on
Yeah,
Minot?
it was exciting for sure. Like, wow, we could do this.
Yes.
So there was belief. Yeah, it was great to get that next goal and go up 2-1.
Absolutely. So at that point, Michigan had the lead until late. Very, very late, you might say, in my opinion. I'm just going to describe what I saw. It's not evidence. It's not anything. It's just what happened is with 3 seconds, Katie German took the puck and kind of pinned it against the boards right back behind the goal. I looked up and I was counting down on the radio broadcast from 3, 2, 1. It hit 0, and when it hit 0, I looked down, and the puck was just coming from back behind the goal. So I assumed the game was over. The puck came out in front. It was shot in, and it scored as the officials were keeping an eye on the action. The horn that game was very, very soft. It was hard to hear. So kind of what was, from my viewpoint, the game was over, and then it came out to Welby, who was able to put it in. Kind of what did you experience on the bench? Could you hear the horn at all? Was there any knowledge kind of that it looked like the game was over, or what was the experience from the bench side?
I think everybody was really confused, and
Yeah.
I was confused too because the players on the ice thought it was after the buzzer. I know the referees and the lines people did talk about what they saw, and we don't have video review in W1 except for in the final. And they called our captains over, but there was no explanation given to me. There was explanation given to Minot, but I never got an explanation. Maybe they didn't think I was the head coach. I have no idea, because typically you step down and then the ref will come approach you.
Yeah.
So that was all really confusing for me, and it'll definitely be something I bring up during the national meetings in May, because there was confusion on my end, which obviously leads to our players being confused because I don't know what's going on and I can't communicate with them what I've seen or what I've heard or what I've been told. So ultimately it was out of our control, and we just had to continue on.
Yeah, how tough was that in that locker room, trying to get everyone back up and kind of fired up for an overtime when it really felt like you had won the game, and then was it hard to get everyone fired up, or was everyone like, okay, business now, let's go out and try and finish this thing?
Yeah, I obviously it was a little deflating, but we've been there before. We had a very similar circumstance with the Miami game. We thought we were going to win.
Yep.
And we took them to overtime.
Yeah.
So it's something we had been through before, and in the overtime we had great chances.
Yes.
And their goaltender, we knew how we would have to beat her.
Yep.
She was really aggressive. She'd come out and we would have to move the puck around her, and I think a couple times the puck was literally on the goal line and
Yes.
it just didn't cross. So
Yes.
there was a little bit of not so great puck luck there too.
Yeah,
but it's
absolutely.
stuff we can learn from and take with us to next season.
I know at 3:27 left in the overtime, that's when Kozak took the shot from the near circle. The rebound, great save by Poneth, but the rebound came out to Welby on the inner corner of the far circle, and she was able to put it in there. And that came right off of kind of a puck going down, which I thought was an icing, but was waved off. But a little confusion there. Hard-fought overtime period. Any kind of final thoughts on that game? Obviously Minot got to the finals and Michigan played them tight. They had them really won in regulation. Just some confusion there. Any final thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think just for us, that was the number 4 team in the nation, and we really should have beat them.
Yeah.
I think our team now knows that we can beat anybody.
Yeah.
we had a team meeting, I think it was Tuesday before the practice, and one of the first things I asked the team is, who in this room thinks we can beat Minot State?
Yeah.
And there were some players that hesitated putting their hands up, and I said, everybody should have their hand up here right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
we deserve to be here.
Yeah.
We have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And they have everything to lose, and I think that's really the biggest takeaway is that we can compete with,
Yeah.
I mean, Adrian won the national championship.
Yes.
We almost beat them.
Yes.
And,
absolutely. Yeah.
Like, we are a top 10 team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's not saying anything bad about Minot. Minot played
Right.
great. They played in overtime. They fought their way all the way over to the championship game. But yeah, this Michigan team can hang
Right.
with anyone in that top 10, and it's just getting the puck luck, getting
Yep.
the scoring to happen. Due to the loss, Michigan had to play the next morning at 10 a.m. Versus Michigan Dearborn, who had played at 10 a.m. the day before and had lost to McKendree. Michigan Dearborn scored first at 4:19 left in the first when the puck came from behind the goal, and Spence had it, a shot from the high slot who scored. Spence was somehow able to, again, get it past four defenders. You kind of seeing eye puck right in there. I'm not sure, again, Ponitz saw that one. After the tough loss, did the team get deflated giving up that first goal at all, or did it kind of galvanize them?
That first period, we definitely looked tired.
Yeah.
We definitely looked like we had played an overtime game less than 24 hours before.
Exactly, yeah.
So the biggest adjustment for us after this first period was try and figure out a way to get ourselves out of that hole.
Indeed. So, and Michigan only had 2 shots in that first period. And then the team did much better in the second and third, being outshot only by 1 in those 2 periods. What changes did the team make after that first intermission? Was it just kind of reevaluating and kind of getting back going, or did you make any kind of offensive changes to get the puck on net at all, or was it just kind of picking yourself up and get going?
I think a little bit of both. Like, obviously, it was a win or go home game for us. So
Exactly.
it was, we're gonna play our best players and expect them to step up in these situations, and that's what we did. And that's, I think, how the shots really evened out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's always tough playing 2 games within 24 hours.
Absolutely.
And then, obviously, the chaos with the tornado warning and
Yes, absolutely.
all that stuff in the morning just doesn't help. So there's things out of our control that, we have to be able to deal with. And, yeah, obviously not the outcome we wanted, but we know we belong there.
Absolutely.
And that's the expectation. Day 1 starts today. I just told our new captains that, like, if this is what we want, it starts today.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Second period was scoreless, 11-19 into the third. Lindahl, who was having an amazing game, picked up the puck at the blue line, skated across the far circle, fired it in from the slot, and tied the game. Katie German had the assist. And at that point, Lindahl was having a great game and was just really all over the place. Did that pick up the team? How was the team after getting tied? I mean, you can beat Michigan Dearborn at that
Right.
point.
Yeah, it's Lindahl's. She's a horse, I guess you could say. She wants the puck on her stick. We want the puck on her stick. So, yeah, it was great that she was able to score that goal and pick everybody back up.
Absolutely. It seemed like it was only a matter of time
Right.
that game before it was going to
Definitely.
go in. And then the Ann Arbor squad took a tripping call at 5:02 in the third. Unfortunately, 6 seconds after that, into that power play, Dearborn scored. Evers took a pass from Warrum at the top of the far circle and found the back of the net. Michigan tried to battle back. There were opportunities and came close, but just couldn't sneak that puck back behind Borso. Final thoughts on the weekend on that game? What are your kind of final thoughts on the national tournament as a whole?
I mean, we're right there. Like,
yeah.
2 games decided by 1 goal.
Yes.
One of them in overtime to the national runner-up. We're right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next season, we're going to have a more competitive schedule.
Yeah.
And like I said, it really starts today in setting expectations for Team 29.
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting to see that we're able to compete with these teams, but ultimately we
100%.
want to be on the other end of it.
Exactly.
I mean, it sucks to lose. I hate
Yeah.
losing. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
It was something I mentioned at the opening. Over half those games were 1-goal games. 5 of them were overtime. So it's the only team that didn't have a 1-goal game was Adrian,
Right.
who went on to win everything. So it is. I mean, we're right there in that top 10, and I think it's the top 10 is kind of come a little closer together. It's not just
Yeah.
the top 2 or 3 anymore. So,
Correct. Yeah, I think
that's
the gap
impressive.
has really closed
Yeah.
between the top 10 teams,
It's
which
still
is great.
shocking to me that Adrian hadn't won until then, that Liberty had it. Because
Right.
they've been such a good team for a while. So.
Yeah.
On a general women's hockey note, we both got to go to the PWHL game
We
in
did.
Detroit, which was fantastic. At Little Caesars Arena, they set a U.S. attendance record in women's hockey at 13,763. It's hard to say there's no market for women's hockey in this area when you have that many people willing to go see a game. All the young women in their hockey sweaters was so cool to see. It made me very optimistic about the future of the game. What was your experience seeing that as a coach, as a player? Kind of what were your feelings seeing that celebration of women's hockey in this area?
Yeah, it got chills,
Yeah.
just kind of watching it, and I took some video too because, I mean, this is a longer conversation, but the state, I don't really know what the issue is.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
this is one thing we can put in front of anybody and say, there is a market here. There
Yes.
is demand.
Yes.
There really is demand.
Yes.
And it was great that we in Detroit were able to set that attendance record, and we were able to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Because that's something that nobody can take away from us now.
Absolutely.
And we saw it, we experienced it, we're going to talk about it, and everybody else is going to talk about it too.
Yeah.
So hopefully Detroit gets a PWHL team down the road, and it
Yes.
comes with, growth at all levels, right? It's not
Exactly.
just the professional women's league, it's collegiate, it's
Yes.
AAA, AA, single A, grassroots programs, high school programs. All those things come with that event on Saturday.
Absolutely.
And that's, I think, the most exciting thing for me, and that's what we're going to continue to push and advocate for. There is demand.
Yeah, and I
And,
think the
yeah.
Michigan Girls High School Hockey League is looking to add a couple more teams again and
Right.
looking to expand right after Traverse City came in. So
Yeah.
it's a great time for women's hockey.
Yeah,
It's a wonderful time. And I do want to mention, by the way, speaking of that, anyone who wonders if there's a market, we had over 15,000 people watch Michigan women's hockey this season.
Yeah.
And that's no small number to sneeze at. That's all of you. Thank you to all of you who watched and who cheered on and who couldn't make it and watch. I'm excited to see that kind of interaction with our content, and hopefully we can just get better, and hopefully more and more people watch it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? I know we just announced the captains and the awards.
We
Anything
did.
else, prospect skate or anything you want to talk about?
Got a prospect skate coming up March 30th. I was a little behind, but I did send out the invitations for that.
Perfect.
Regular decision applicants or applicants that applied early action that were deferred, my speculation is that they will find out on Friday, March 29th. So that is next Friday, or this upcoming Friday.
Nice.
Actually, less than a
Knock
week
on
from
wood.
now. So, yeah, it's exciting. Hopefully Michigan doesn't make us wait until April,
Indeed.
because I will probably pull my hair out by then. But that's something, again, that's out of our control, and
Yeah.
we're really just trying to do the best with the situation and the cards that were dealt.
Absolutely. And then, so we talked about the leadership. We talked about the banquet. Anything else you want to talk about before we go on to thank yous? I know it's been a busy morning for you already.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming right to the banquet over here and hopping on the mic. I'm so grateful for your help and all your hard work all season long.
Likewise.
It's a privilege. So.
Likewise. We really appreciate it. No, it's just, this concludes my third season as a head coach of our program, and just seeing every year and every day, really, I truly feel like we're taking steps in the right direction.
Yes.
Yes, there are some days where we take steps back or whatnot, but I really think that with everybody we've been able to involve in this program, I'm super appreciative of everybody and all the support behind the scenes too, our players and their families and their friends and everybody that contributes to anything that has to do anything with this program.
Yeah.
Like social media, in person, whatever it is, Regents Field, like that is what is going to take us to the next level.
Yes.
And I just appreciate it so much because I've talked about this, 2013 when I came to campus, nobody knew
Yeah.
anything about our hockey team and our program. And now we're going to be coming up on Team 29 and our 30th anniversary of having a women's ice hockey program at Michigan. And some people still don't even know we exist.
Absolutely.
So I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic. I'm energized and I'm just super appreciative of everybody, including you all, and hopefully we can continue building in the right direction.
Absolutely. Forward and always stacking that
Yep.
next brick on top of the other.
We're going to keep grinding for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank, there's been a bunch of really amazing articles coming out, especially the Daily Edits. We want to thank Anna Miller, Ellie Richard, and Leslie Buden. From the Daily for some amazing articles about the Michigan women's hockey team. Congratulations to Blasty, the
Yes.
Wolverine Trooper. 1,000 events. That's insane.
Wild.
And I saw the team gave him a thank you on that big
We did.
video. So that's wonderful. That's so impressive. We've been doing this since 2016. We've only done 885 broadcasts.
Wow.
So I can't. 1,000 is just.
Coming up, though.
It's well, indeed. Knock on wood.
You'll have
hopefully
about
people,
30 of ours next year, so hopefully.
Absolutely. So that's amazing. Thank you to him. Thank you to Keith Gave, who continues to support the team and put great tweets out there. Thank you to all the Michigan families and friends who have watched, who continue to support this team, who watch the broadcast when they can't be there. One last time, thank you to the seniors, Katie Christensen, Meg Bryce, Megan Matthews, Jesse Simmer, and Robin Goldman for all they've done, and we know they're going to have an amazing next adventure with the Endeavors. Thank you to Rusty Barbell, who was here as well.
Rusty was here. Yep, Phil and Jenna. Wanted to give a shout out to them as well, and hopefully I'll be able to get back in the gym with them this summer now that I'm going to have some more time.
Gosh knows I need to get one in there as well. So
They're
absolutely.
phenomenal. I really like his style of coaching, and I feel like it's exactly what I need. So, hopefully we'll get back there. It was great to have them here.
Yeah.
We're really going to work on trying to integrate them more with our overall coaching approach because obviously with hockey there's the on-ice and the off-ice stuff, but
Yeah.
that's another conversation we'll have internally. But, it was great to have them here and have you here as well.
Perfect. And thank you to Regents Field. Happy to be
Always.
back here. So anyone else you want to thank?
I just want to give a shout out to our alumni as well. I've been getting
Yeah.
a lot of messages of people just following our program and they're excited to see, and maybe before they weren't super excited about the direction of the program, and now they're really excited to follow it, which means a lot, and we're happy to have them in our circle.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for a fantastic season. We're super grateful, and you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the D1 National Championship game tomorrow, and we'll talk to folks a bit later. Thank you. Have a great evening.